You get the closing thoughts here, sir. Wrap it up for us today. Hopefully, you'll be back with us tomorrow and this coming week. Your geopolitical thinking is always quite brilliant. Where are we, and where are we? Why are we, and where are we going?
Steve, great to join you. I think we had a great discussion today, really looking at the conduct of the war, very importantly. 2 points there. The U.S. is at war. We've had killed in action and wounded in action. That's very significant. Second, the analysis that you've had on today have really demonstrated a lot of unknowns with respect to the conduct. What's going on? What are our objectives in this war? You choose the military instrument, right, for political objectives. So it's very important to be clear about what those political objectives are in this conflict. Additionally, I think not moving from the conduct to the consequences, what are the consequences of this going to be for the United States, for a foreign policy? What's it going to be for states of the region? And what's it going to be for the conflict vis-a-vis China against the Chinese Communist Party? Because international politics, you never get a timeout. While we're focused on Iran, the CCP is acting, continuing their aggression against key allies like Japan, the Philippines, and partners like Taiwan. So it's very important to think about when we're addressing and rightfully focused on the conduct of it, the consequences are equally profound.
Real quickly, they cut them off in Venezuela, and then President Trump has allowed them, I think, to get some Venezuelan oil. They're essentially, you could cut them off easily now. I mean, they've essentially cut off by the activity because there's the tanker that got sunk. I don't think there's any other tankers. Right. How does the Chinese Communist Party is the regime's ally? Been an ally financially, been an ally thing. We got about a minute. What is the Chinese Communist Party going to insert themselves here? Because they're one of the countries most at risk on this fighting, are they not?
Well, it illustrates the importance of Russia for the CCP, because if they're cut off from Iranian oil, Russian oil becomes much more important. So the relationship with Moscow for Xi Jinping becomes even more significant than it is. So with respect to this conflict, Steve, specifically, I don't think the CCP is going to be intervening militarily. Diplomatically, of course, they're conveying their displeasure, but it opens a window of opportunity for the CCP to act while the United States is focused on this conflict. So there's a window of vulnerability while this war is going on for the CCP to take actions that are going to be obviously opposed to U.S. National interests. It also underscores the importance of ending the Ukraine war, because Russia, because it is important for the CCP, China needs the oil, after all. Let's get the Ukraine war ended, and let's change our relationship with Russia. Okay. Russia will never be an ally of the U.S., but it need not always be inimical to our interests.
We can start with the rapprochement, and then maybe we were allies in World War II, the big one, when they gave up, 60 million people to defer the war. Real quickly before we leave, because I wonder, Peter Baker, now this is the New York Times, but they've done a poll, and the poll's pretty brutal. I think only 40% of Republicans are in favor of this. This is a flash poll every night. Only 21% of Americans, almost no support from the Democrats, and very low support from independents. Lincoln knew this. Lincoln said all the time that as long as you have public opinion in back of you, which he had, particularly in some of the most brutal days of the Civil War, you can accomplish things. If you have public opinion, do you think the president and his team needs to come out and make a more systematic argument for exactly what the objectives are here and what Americans should be prepared to suffer for this?
Well, this country is at war. And so because this country is at war, it's incumbent upon our political leaders to convey to the American people why we're at war and what our objectives are in the conflict. as Americans are sacrificing their lives. And this conflict may be an ongoing one. So it would be very helpful for administration officials and the president himself to come out and to provide the explanation for why the U.S. is doing it, why it's in U.S. national interests to
vital national security issues,
to pay the blood price, because we're paying the blood price in this conflict already, and with potentially even greater costs associated with it.
We've got a bolt. You're putting up amazing information. Where do people go?
Steve, Brad Thayer at X and Bradley Thayer, Getter and Truth. Thanks very much.